إلا ليعبدوا الله مخلصين له الدين حنفاء ويقيموا الصلاة ويؤتوا الزكاة وذلك دين القيم صدق الله العلي العظيم. Illuminate your hearts and minds with the loud salawat ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Is piety, taqwa, a necessity? An interesting question that may concern or has concerned at least many of us once throughout our lifetimes. This question, an interesting question, has been given its answer in the previous night. How taqwa in itself is great at helping one achieve elevation in their status, but on top of that can be a foundation where the hasanat or the khair or the great effects truly come to fruition from other actions. Now let's take a step back and look at it from a different view, from a different perspective. Is God will alone what is needed, or is action alone what is needed? Tonight we will see God will, or we will, and in the future nights we will go over action with Allah salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. A lot of the times it has been misinterpreted that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's only deal with a human being is their heart. It's only the heart. As is usually said in the Persian language, فقط خدا با دلت کار داره. My heart is clean, my heart is pure, that's enough. I don't need to do any other actions. What is the need for it? If my heart is with Allah, and we have many other different types of religions that say this as well, that come as the branches of Islam. Those wrongly interpreted sects which come and say that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala only has work to do with one's heart. The actions, prayer, fasting, sadaqah, these are things that are there to be there. But if you're with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that's enough. That should suffice for you. Nothing else is needed. Now, one's will and one's heart is definitely important for one person. If you don't have God, well, if you aren't pious in your heart as well as in your actions will not be given meaning or life to begin with. Niyat, or having khulus, purity in one's intention for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, gives life and meaning to your actions. As was recited in the verse in the beginning, وَمَا أُمِرُوا إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ مُخْلِصِينَ لَهُ. And you haven't been ordered except that you act towards for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with pure hearts. And in the continuation starts going over actions. That along with having a pure heart, action is also a necessity. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for example, who is known as Ahsanul Khaliqeen, فَتَبَارَكَ اللَّهُ أَحْسَنُ الْخَالِقِينَ, He created everything in utmost perfection, Ahsanul Khaliqeen, the greatest of creators. If He has ordered us with prayer, this itself is a creation, a word given to the Prophet so that he may convey upon the Muslim Ummah. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Ahsanul Khaliqeen, the greatest of creators, the greatest of all creators, then such a creation that isn't even important or necessary to be obligated, then is lagw. This is futile. This is unnecessary for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If this was such so, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's title as Ahsanul Khaliqeen would fall. Because a great creator is someone that makes everything in utmost perfection without any unnecessities. Things that aren't important or relevant. For example, in the Quran, if we take this as an example, the Quran is known for it being a miracle through its linguistic view and its eloquency, its bilaghat, and how fasih it is. If the Quran itself is a miracle from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and this miracle is showed through it being perfect and complete in the way that it needs to be, then any other additions that are unnecessary would throw the Quran off of being a miracle. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was able to make the Quran a miracle words in such a way that they aren't filled with anything unnecessary. So that wouldn't change the fact that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would also need to be baligh, would also need to be great and perfect without any unnecessities, any waste in his creation as well. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala were to order his human beings, do prayer, it is upon you, it is an obligation, an obligatory act, then that means that for him, who he is, the Ahsanul Khaliqin, such an act isn't futile and it is a necessity. This is one answer. Another way to look at this is to look at the verse which was recited last night, but we'll review it tonight, as it is a verse very fruitful. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu ittaqullaha haqqa tuqatih wa la tamutunna illa wa antum muslimun. A verse which we have gone over last night, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells the believers, the Muslims, ittaqullah, be God conscious and God worthy, that which is deserving of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَلَا تَمُوتُنَّ إِلَّا وَأَنْتُمْ مُسْلِمُونَ. And do not perish, do not leave this world unless that you die as Muslims. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is ordering the human being that for you to die a true Muslim, you should be God conscious and God worthy, that way which is deserving of me. And how to be God conscious and God worthy, which is deserving of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We saw it in a hadith from Sadiq alayhi salam, which he said it means to act towards Allah's obligations, do not forgive him, and to thank him, and don't do kufran of his ni'mat. Don't disregard what he has given to you. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has ordered me, then of course this order should be kept dear in my heart, to the point which I act upon it. This third answer which will be brought up is a very beautiful answer to those who say that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala only wants to do with one's heart. That's it. Your heart is with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that should suffice. You don't need anything else. Everything else you do is unnecessary. You could do it, but it isn't really needed. If I as a person truly love another, it is almost weighing down on me that I should do anything that that person loves. For me, as a person who says that my heart is with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, does it not mean that I, as a person who loves and wants to gain nearness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to do that which makes me gain nearness to him? If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves and requests of me to do prayer, does it not engage me or inspire me to do prayer? Does it not motivate me to do prayer for this love? The exact same scenario is with Allah. I will do anything that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has obligated upon me, if it's the least I can do. I love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I'm him, and I want to be among his most humbled and sincere worshippers, his creation. And for me to do such a thing, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told me to do at least 5 daily obligatory prayers, at least fast, at least give khums, this is the least you need to do to show your love towards me, then what more should I do? If I can show my love through this, and if I do it with more, and if I don't settle for less, then what greater than that? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is our creator. He is the creator of all of mankind, Ahsanul Khaliqin. And for me to show my love to him through my heart is to show it through my actions. I don't preach without acting upon it myself. If I truly love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and say that I love the creator and I respect the creator and I truly know myself to be a slave, a worshipper to the creator, then that means that I do whatever he himself loves. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells me to do my prayer, I'll do my prayer. If he tells me to do fasting, I'll do my fasting. A lot of the times nowadays, many of the younger Muslims can't fast because of it being difficult. When one's heart or soul is truly tied with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, difficulty is instead a blessing for that person. It's ease. It's as a gift. If I were to do worship for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and prayer in the hottest desert, the hardest situation possible, in that moment, if I was truly with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I could do it with the most happiest feeling I would ever have. Why is that? Because my soul is tied with Allah. No matter how hard the action may be, because it's for Allah, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants me to do such an act, it's easy for me to do it. The same thing is with fasting. The younger generation nowadays, a lot of the times an exam is coming up, I can't fast because I have an exam, it's going to be hard for me. Or I get thirsty, I can't fast because I'm thirsty, I can't fast over water. Some try to separate it, say that I can't fast on water, but I can fast on food. So I won't eat food, but I'll drink water. And all of these mix-ups and complications. For a true person, for a true mu'min to show their true love to the Creator, it is to show this with the most humble and sincere way possible. Though it may be hard, though it may be difficult, but if this is the least I need to show my of love and affection to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then let that be. May Allah inshallah may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us all the tawfiq, success of becoming among the true Shias of the Ahlul Bayt. And may we all be alim and amil to the teachings of the Ahlul Bayt and the Quran. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina wa nabiyyina Muhammadin wa alihi at-tahirin.